Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Today, we continue our comic book movie journey through film, and what a stop it is. Today, we've got Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Ghost Rider 2. It was released on February 17th, 2012. It was written for the screen by Scott M. Gimple, Seth Hoffman, with a story by David S. Goyer. Good job, guys. You really knocked this one out of the park, and it was directed by Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor, the writers, actually, of Jonah Hex recently. So, anywho, I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. Hi. What's up, bud? How you doing?
I usually say every time that it's a pleasure to be here, but like, it's not often that I can actually say that I did not enjoy a movie, or like that I can confidently call a movie bad.
No, here's the thing. You and me, you and I, me and you, we're rather positive.
Mm-hmm.
We're loving people when it comes to the movies we watch. I never want to say anything too negative. I always want to shine a light on the positive. Mm-hmm. And I was raised under the age-old adage, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And therein, this might be our shortest episode on a movie ever.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. This one, I mean, Ghost Rider 1, we thought was going to be bad, but then we were like, you know what? For what it was, it was actually sort of fun. We recognized it was still critically not the best thing.
Oh, no. But that movie, the first one permeates an identity. It permeates a vibe. It has an aesthetic. It has its thing.
And it seems to be like, they cared a little bit. They knew that it was out there, and they knew that it was like not like a Dark Knight. They're not taking it like literally, as serious as it can get, but they were trying at least a little bit in the first one. Here, they just let everything fucking go. I mean, this was just like, well, it's probably just gonna sell enough tickets just to get people in for the, first showing. And that's all we care about, because that's the justification I made in my head, because there's no way that anyone thought that this script, or while they were making this movie, I don't know, there's no way anyone thought that they were doing something here, because I'm pretty sure...
I don't even fucking know, man. Like... I'm a huge backer of the idea that it is important you watch good movies, of course, but you should also watch bad movies. I think it's important that you watch bad movies to understand just how bad movies can be. Again, this is always something I'll come back to, is Thor Love and Thunder. Whenever that came out and people were like, oh, this might be the worst movie of all time, it's like, well, you haven't watched enough bad movies. It's not even the worst comic book movie of all time. Like, it's just not.
We might have found it.
This is fucking horrendous. I never, ever feel like watching a movie was a waste of my time. I knew 15 minutes into this movie that I was about to spend an hour and a half of my life that I would never get back.
Yeah, I mean, there was no fulfilling, like, even if I was fresh off the first one, which I wasn't, it wouldn't have mattered anyways. There's nothing.
If you were fresh off
fulfilling.
the first one, it might have been an even bigger disappointment.
That's true. I mean, they throw so many things out the window. Dude, literally, can't be Ghost Rider in daylight. It's just like one of the rules. He's like, I think there's like 2 times where it's broad fucking daylight and he just activates Ghost Rider. I'm pretty sure. Like, they don't give a fuck about the rules anymore. And like somehow the look got worse.
A lot worse.
Over time. Like it's more practical here, you know, I guess, like with the ash and the
there's something about the aesthetic like I appreciate the idea they're going for. I like the like molten charred thing they're going for, like with the bike and with this, like that's a cool idea. You need a better looking movie if you're gonna do that.
It just didn't even look. I mean, like if you're gonna go that route, make sure it looks better than what you did before. You know,
like I would say his head, like the actual skull head, looked pretty solid. It looked pretty solid for most of the movie.
Yeah, there were like
about as solid as this can look. You know, like it's a weird fucking idea, and no matter what, it's gonna look a little off. But I mean, like the first, that's the thing is that I don't think it elevated on the first one in that regard. It's just one of the nice things I can say about the movie is that his head didn't look fucked up. You know,
I would assume when a lot of it trailer shots. I'd assume a lot of it was like for the trailer shots. They're like, all right, let's put some time and effort into these ones here. And because you could tell, like when it was like a trailer shot, like whenever he transformed and like super close up on his face, and like I mean they did look good, for those couple shots. But man, did this story just not fucking like what? Like for one, it's not even Mephisto anymore. You know, I guess just the devil is he comes in many forms. Is it? I don't know if that's just their easy way of being like we're recasting the devil, and his name is now what? Rorschach? What like? Rourke. What the fuck? I don't know.
Rourke.
Yeah, like okay. And they do this flashback many times of the Blood Pact signing that he did in the first movie. But I feel like
the same.
It's not even close to how he did it in the first one.
He like literally comes to a crossroads.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere. This made it look like it was in like his backyard. They say something about how his dad's sick, and I know his dad was sick in the first one, but he never he didn't go to the hospital. He just kept doing his Daredevil shit until he died doing it.
Yeah,
that was the thing. So like, there's an obliviousness to continuity, which is fine if you make a good movie, you know?
Yeah, but
like again, like all the like they took so many liberties and removed themselves from the first one in such a massive way that if they if you're gonna do that, how the fuck are you making a bad movie? Like, if you're not going to adhere to continuity, typically that would be with the goal in mind to make it better. And I can't think of a single aspect of this film that is better than the first Ghost Rider or better than any of the other 45 movies we've covered in this project.
I mean, say what you want about Supergirl, but like at least it had some sort of story that was somewhat keeping me in the movie. You know, I was like, okay, I can follow this and I at least want to follow it maybe. This, I mean, it's like the kid. It's just like protect the kid. The kid is on the run. We have to protect this kid. Become Ghost Rider. You haven't done it in a while, I guess. So act like you're a crazed maniac. You know, the scene where they interrogate this guy at the club, and he's like, it's. I wrote it down for one of my lines because it's one of the greatest deliveries in the movie. Like it's unbelievable. Whenever he's up close to his face, you know that thing. It's inside of me. So you're a bad man. You know, like he gets like real like over the top here for no reason. And then he's like, it's scraping at the door, scraping at the door. Like he literally gets this completely different voice to him. And like, I don't know, maybe this is just, he ran away, you know, and he's trying to not let, you know, Ghost Rider out, I guess, to be, you know, to protect everyone else. But like, is this really how like, I didn't expect him to freaking, I don't know, it kind of turned him into this weird.
Like this doesn't adhere at all to what the character Nick Cage's Johnny Blaze was in the first movie. Like this is he's still my performance because I don't know who the fuck else to go with.
That's why I was like, I was thinking, I don't know if I want to go with Nick Cage because he so clearly knew what he was doing the whole time. Like, it was almost funny. You know, that was the only thing that was kind of funny about the movie is thinking of
every line. He delivered every line like he knew he shouldn't be in this. Like he was my favorite line of the movie just it melted my fucking mind because we're in the like something about this movie that's hilarious is its complete inability to capture a tone. It has no idea what it wants to be. It has no idea what it wants to go for. It has no idea if it wants to be funny. It has no idea if it wants to be scary. It has no idea if it wants to be serious. It's all these different things melded into one. So the mother of this child, the mother of the devil's child, the devil's baby mama, as he dubs her at some point.
Nadia.
She has a really serious, good moment where she goes, that boy, Danny, he's the best thing I ever did. You know, like I love him. I've made a lot of mistakes. He is not one of them. Yeah. And Nick Cage replies, and the way that he says it is just like, you can tell he thinks it is the stupidest fucking thing to say. He goes, well, that being the case, we better make sure he doesn't turn out to be the Antichrist. Comforting. Very comforting. Good job, Johnny. You really knocked that one out of the park.
Wow. Wow, man. Like, literally, every line delivery he has to them is pretty bad. Like, I'm at the end. He's transformed. Danny Boy gave him his Ghost Rider ability back after he voluntarily got rid of it.
Yes,
he got rid of it. And, what a hilarious ritual to get rid of it as well. He's laying on Merry Christmas, you assholes. He throws out as he's like kind of thriving in pain. And I thought that was hilarious. But no, at the very end, whenever he feels the angel of, what is it? The angel of justice, maybe?
Yeah.
I think it's like justice.
Vengeance? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the spirit of vengeance that it turns into, whenever it's, corrupted, blah, blah, blah. But he feels the angel of justice. He's like, I feel it. And like, he's like reaching out his hand and she's like, I don't know. Like, I still don't know about this. And then he's back alive. And the kid, he's like, probably like, what the fuck? The kid's like, what the fuck? Like, he's so confused. And it's just, did we win? Did we win? I think we did. Or I'd say yes. Hell yes. And that's the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie.
No, we don't see what they do next. Nothing. I mean, it's incredible that was the actual end of the movie. I started laughing at the end. Like that was my reaction. I mean, it's like, I couldn't believe that they were just like, yeah, fuck it, we're done. Devil's dead. Danny's alive because he touched him in the face, and the angel's in his body. He had blue flame now.
Fucking hysterical. See you later. There's another movie in our journey that has a relatively similar plot, but it's pulled off to an extremely better capacity. That's Elektra. I don't know if you'll recall. It was like we're after this young child, and they have power within them and whatever. But Elektra grows to love that child as her own, basically, and stuff. Like, even that, a not good movie, is just infinitely better than this.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, even when Elektra got weird with those villains, it was sort of cool. It was actually like, well, if it's going to get weird, cool.
I will say,
this is
I was
and
tempted for my character to go with Kerrigan in the second half of the movie after
The
he gets
decay
to like
boy?
decay the
Yeah.
decaying power. Once he does that, he
Uh.
becomes a completely new character, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious how bad, like whenever they go into like whatever the decaying vision thing is, like, oh my God,
Yeah, why?
on
Why?
what planet do you think this looks good? Is there anybody who worked on this movie making it going, you know what, this is a banger? You know,
I don't
like,
know why they did that. The only time it was cool, and it might be my shot, is whenever he pisses. Because they do it for Ghost Rider as well. They just go into this weird plane, dark plane sometimes. But it's whenever little Danny asks him, like, hey, how do you pee? Do you pee? You have to go pee or whatever? And he's like, yeah, no, it's awesome. It's like a flamethrower. And then it goes into that world, and he's fucking pissing like a flamethrower. And I was like, hey, that was just kind of, thank you for doing that. Now I have,
that's why it's like, what do you want this movie to be? What even is this?
Yeah, no, that's just the cool shot, or the funny shot, but like an actual one that was actually done pretty well, that I could say VFX looks pretty clean, is whenever he does get it, he's Ghost Rider 2.0 after Danny spit fire into his face, which crazy visual that was. But his bike comes back online, and it comes to pick him up, and like it arrives, and like it does this like kind of Yui, sort of thing, and you kind of the camera stays there and sees him drive off for a while, and you see like all the stuff burn like in the foreground, and like the trail of fire like out of focus kind of. It was like, I was like, oh man, this is actually really good.
I don't want to completely like, my favorite scene of the movie undoubtedly is there's like a giant fight in the middle of the movie, where someone hits him with like a flashbang, and he like floats in the air, and he's doing that weird like glitching turning thing.
Why? What?
No,
what was that?
Yeah, no idea. But I gave in at this point. I was like, it's over. I'm done. I logged this movie on Letterboxd 45 minutes in and said it cannot get better. This is it. Half a star. It's done.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been as confident in giving a half-star rate. I mean, I don't know.
That was my first one ever. I've been using Letterboxd for 2 years. I've never given anything. I've given 2 1-stars and 1 half-star, and that's this. It's horrendous.
Do you know the other 2 1-stars?
Catwoman. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I can't remember what the other 1-star is off the top of my head, but
but this,
regardless, it's just so bad. But this was my favorite scene. He's doing the like floating thing in the air, and then he runs at a dude, and his like quick little thing he does for some reason. And the dude shoots him in the face a bunch of times, and he's just got his jaw wide open, so the bullets are going like straight through his mouth.
Yeah. So he's eating them.
He's eating bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, because he spits it back out at him. You hear like metal sounds as he's spitting them out. Yeah, no, they went kind of hard for this scene.
And like when he when he Ghost Riderifies that giant crane, I'm that's dope. Yeah. Do more of that.
I mean, slamming it up and down. I mean, that shit was awesome. Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, it's the scene of the movie, because I mean, I was skimming through the whole movie, trying to find another scene that even kind of comes close to it, and it's just, maybe the end fight when we just see a bunch of apparent politicians and powerful people in the world all just get chain whipped to death. Like, I mean, he literally like just whips it around and kills like so many people at once. That was really sick. And then I don't know. Yeah, I know, but the end was crazy. The third act was
my other 1-star. I found it was 2017's Justice League, the Joss Whedon one. Pretty fucking bad. I'm gonna go ahead and change a couple of the 1.5 stars, or one of the 1.5 stars, down to a 1-star real quick, and that's 2016's Suicide Squad. So DC really dominating my 1-stars there with Suicide Squad, Justice League, and Catwoman.
This Marvel though, right? So Marvel, right? Ghost Rider's Marvel.
Yes, yeah. New
Yeah.
low for them.
So Marvel is definitely the lowest of the low. They got
I
the
mean,
half
this
stars
made X-Men
for
Origins
sure.
Wolverine look like fucking cinema.
Dude, yes. Like any day, I mean, I'm not gonna watch X-Men Origins Wolverine again, probably. But if I were given the option between
Gun to
this,
your head.
yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine or Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, I'm probably still choosing the gun. But if I still had to choose a movie, I would actually go with X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Bro,
it's crazy.
what's blowing my fucking mind that I haven't even really considered thinking about it in this context is that I'm probably saying this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
This might be true. I mean, it was bad. Like, the editing was bad. Like, I mean, like, just they didn't really care for continuity whatsoever. Like, even within the movie itself, just setting up simple shots. They were just like, let's get this movie done and over with. We don't give a fuck. I don't know how they spent $75 million on this movie. $75 million on this movie.
I mean, Nick Cage had to have gotten paid 10.
Yeah. They made 130 something. So, like,
what?
It got people in. The first movie, I guarantee it was the first weekend, and maybe people were like, holy shit, check out how bad this fucking movie. You have to see this. You have to see how bad this movie is. That, I don't know. I don't know how they almost doubled their budget here, but yeah.
Bro, like, it's also the longest hour and a half of my life.
Yeah, I thought, oh, what a breeze. Hour and a half movie. This is going to be great. No.
Bro.
No. I was like, please be over. I'm like, please by the end. I saw I mean, thank God there was like 10 minutes of credits, because if there was actually 10 more minutes in the movie, I don't know if I could have finished it. I had no will. Zero. Green Lantern is actual cinema compared to this.
Oh, like, yeah. Green Lantern
literally
is miles better.
That's crazy.
Like, so much better. Like, we are looking at what will be the worst movie we've ever rated, all around. I didn't feel this vehemently disgusted by Catwoman.
No,
you know?
Yeah,
Catwoman's not a good movie by any stretch at all. A actively awful film. Mm-hmm. This reaches new lows. This is a different level of bad.
Oh my god! Yeah, Catwoman was a 2, and that is the ceiling. I don't know. 1 might be the ceiling for this critically, you know. Like, I mean, it, like, I don't know I don't know. Like, that is kind of nuts to think about. Maybe not 1 is this. Well, I don't know. I'll have to think about what that means. What does a 1 out of 10 mean critically for something?
This, you know? like I said, this set a new standard for what I think is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That feels like grounds for a 1 out of 10. Here's, like, I'm thinking back to fucking Disney Channel original movies when I was younger. I'd watch any of them before I watched this again. Fucking Radio Rebel with Debbie Ryan, the one where she, like, does the whole, like, hair tuck behind the ear thing. Like, watch that again. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Haven't watched that in 10 fucking years. Guarantee you I'd watch that sooner than this.
That seemed like I was in heaven compared to this was literal hell. This was, that might be the point, is that this is what his victims feel like. Whenever the penance, we just had the penance stare.
Our own version of the penance stare.
Yeah, we just got it the whole time, and this is our reality. Love, you know, MCU wise, Heimdall here. This is just his sacred timeline, or his mortal form on Earth. You know, he didn't actually die. Like, he can't decay. You know, he's Asgardian. So
I went with him, Morrow, as my character ultimately.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I was trying to think of, like, give the actual performance, like, who actually did the best with what they had. And I'm not gonna lie, Idris Elba. Yeah, it was either him or I think I say his first name wrong. Mance Rayder.
Ciaran Hinds.
It is Ciaran? Okay. Yeah, as Rourke. What a stupid what? We literally had Mephisto just the devil. Like it's just that's whatever. I don't know.
And the first movie being dead.
Like Mephisto?
Yeah.
I think it's like his henchman or whatever that dies, or it's a different guy that dies, and Nick Cage promises to fight him continuously. He says as long as I live, I will actively be I will be vengeance, whatever. And I will be fight. So it's like that's what I thought was going to be the in-between time, but no, he wasn't on this long streak of actively fighting the devil. Instead, he just cowered away in a random town somewhere and went crazy, and had a Joker literally had a few Joker moments in the movie. He was laughing hysterically. It was, maybe it's just the real life Nick Cage came out a little bit right there. He couldn't hold it in. He was just like, this is, what the fuck am I doing with my real life? But no, I think either Idris Elba or I think I'd have to go with Idris Elba. Because
I can't blame you there. Idris Elba definitely brings this sort of steady presence to the film that he's the only one who doesn't seem like he's given up.
Yeah. And it's the headbutt at the end, he goes out and he's like, I forgot his last line or whatever, but
I didn't even remember he died.
Yeah, Decay gets him. Decay guy, and he's slowly decaying away. He drinks that 2,000-year-old bottle of wine and tells Johnny Blaze, I'm going in the front, I'm causing the distraction, I'm going out, this is my Blades of Glory exit here, and then while I'm distracting, you get the boy and get out of here. And that's what he was doing. He went in and he killed a lot of people. He was just shooting anyone and everyone. And then Decay got him. And yeah, while he was decaying, his last act was to headbutt Decay in the face to explode all of his, decayed head into his mouth. Yeah, I don't know. He's the only guy who had a sense of a character like that. That's why I gave him the character too, is because there is no character from the first movie to this for Johnny Blaze or Ghost Rider. It's just all over the place. There's it's what the I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, it's horrendous. It's shot a 2004 heavy metal rock music video, dude, but a really mediocre one.
Whenever you said music video, it's the most perfect analogy there is. This is just an hour and a half long music video that is honestly worse than many music videos that are out there.
It's
Thriller. Thriller might just be better. That is just better. A better story.
Off the top of my head, there's 15. There are 50,000 music videos I would watch sooner than this movie again.
That's true,
and I'd watch them in a row. That's what I do it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I'd watch Paint Dry for an hour and a half rather than this. Probably
I would have rather.
This, it's crazy how actively bad it was. And I thought it was going to get bad to the point where I was going to start enjoying how bad it was. It just never really came. It's just wow, this is really what's going on. There is no stakes really whatsoever at all. I don't care about anyone in this movie at all. There's zero emotion. And every now, there was just the giant crane saw excavator thing. That was the only cool part. I was that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it.
And then other than that, yeah, that is actually all I got out of this movie.
So are we ones across the board? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, we said 4 is the absolute ceiling for never watching a movie again, and I am 4 times, down, keep it going down. Yeah, I'm not
gonna lie.
Is a less than 1 possible?
Yeah, No, I mean, like, this is the least I've ever liked a movie.
What's
I
the
feel
lowest
I've
enjoyment we've
wasted
given?
my time.
Yeah, the lowest
I've never
enjoyment
felt
of
that way.
Catwoman was a 2.5. I mean, like, the only good parts of the movie I could have seen in a single TikTok. Like, literally, this movie could be compressed into a TikTok, and it would have saved me so much time. I think. I mean, is like a half. Like a half point? Is that too crazy? Is that crazy to give this
I don't
half
think
a point?
this
I
is
mean,
this is the subjective one. If
yeah,
like, frankly, 1 is my fucking ceiling. It is a 1 out of 10 at best.
yeah.
I've never felt so fucking
Wow,
let down.
I never thought this would be a possibility, but like a 10, it has to be a 10 because there's zero hesitation. This is zero hesitation, the worst movie I have seen. I mean, without a doubt on this project, it's the worst. And without a doubt, maybe of all the movies I've ever seen in my life, it might be the worst movie of all time. Like, 0 might be. Like, that's crazy that, like, 0 is the other end of that. You have to be so sure, that it is the worst movie that you've ever seen.
And here's the thing. I can't be confident that's the case.
I
what
think
do we do? What do we do on the other end of that?
Yeah.
We go 9.75. Does that make this a 0.25?
0.25. I mean, that's the lowest you can go. I mean, that's in, like, what can we say that was enjoyable about this?
Literally the one, and even that wasn't great. Like, even that, I was just like,
They
finally
shot a
something kind of cool.
Adam.
The fact that the coolest part in this movie is marred by the fact that everything else is so not cool really, really sucks. Like, that's all I can think about while this is happening. I'm watching the cool thing happen and I'm like, well, fucking Christ, you're capable of this. What the fuck happened? Yeah.
I mean, it was just bad. It was actively bad the whole time. 0.25 is crazy. But is it that much worse than Catwoman?
I didn't feel I wasted my time with Catwoman.
Yeah.
That was a movie that, like, I did not like. I didn't think was good. That is an example of a bad movie that I was talking about at the beginning. You need to watch good movies. You need to watch bad movies. That is a good example of a genuinely bad movie.
Yeah.
It teaches you something. It's so bad. There's nothing to gain from this. There's nothing you could possibly, like, this is what not to do.
Yeah, what is even what is the point? What is the message that you get out of this? He gives up his power. He doesn't need it anymore, but literally does. He's useless. He doesn't do a single thing without his power. Gets it back from the kid, and then is good. He can feel the good in him, because I don't know. I can't draw anything. Yeah, I mean,
brother,
like, I'm trying to grasp straws.
I'm telling you that as of now, this is worse. This is worse than most other things I've seen. Like, the story doesn't even really have the bones to be decent. It's just executed so fucking terribly that it doesn't even come close. I think that, like, comparing it to Catwoman fucking shines by comparison. Like, that movie looked like while I was watching this movie last night and I was looking at it next to Catwoman, I was like, I would so much rather be watching Catwoman
true.
right now.
This is true. Okay, I think we've agreed. One is the absolute ceiling. I mean, that's for sure. So we are either one or somewhere south of a point. And I mean, 0.25 sounds crazy, but like I don't know. Like are we I don't think it is, I don't think we are being too harsh. Like, I mean,
the fact that we can talk about 0.25 out of 10, less than 1 out of 10, and feel like, you know what? That might not be harsh. Like, that's fucking nuts. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, I would say that they are burning $75 million to make this movie. They somehow came out with a profit. So, you know, kudos to them on that. But I mean, I'd rather it not be out there. I'd rather it just not be a movie in the first place. I'd rather
watch the entire Expendables franchise 5 times in a row before I watched this movie again.
Man, I mean, like this. Wow. Like, yeah, this was. I tried to even have some amount of fun because I'm like, can I try to like weave this Odin theory
I've
in
never
here?
been pissed off.
Know?
I've never been pissed off at a movie.
Yeah, like
for wasting my time. And I was actively angry watching this last night. I was like, I cannot believe this was the first time in this project where I've been like, I can't fucking believe we committed to this. You know what I'm saying? Like this was the first one that's ever made me feel that way. And for that reason, I am incredibly thankful we get to have an episode like this. We never do this. We never feel this bad.
No.
We never do anything to treat a movie like this. It's that terrible.
I think
let's
0.25. I mean,
let's set something.
Do you think we come across a movie that could somehow be worse and less enjoyable than this?
I severely doubt it. I've watched some shitty comic book movies, man. I mentioned Justice League, Joss Whedon's Justice League from 2017. I mentioned Suicide Squad from 2016.
Those are bad, but
I mean, like,
I don't think they're this bad.
Supergirl and Catwoman are washing this. I don't know that we will ever come across a movie worse than this. Like,
yeah, I don't think we will. You know, if it's a director's spotlight movie, definitely not. That just will never happen. It has to be probably in this.
Like,
or if we're specifically covering the worst movies of all time. We would have to specifically cover the worst movies of all time in order to get something worse.
Like, so I'm thinking of all the terrible comic books, the ones that people point at and go, gosh, this is a true piece of shit. You know, Wonder Woman 1984. 100% watched that sooner than this.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Thor the Dark World.
Easy.
Not even fucking close.
Marty would even say that these are cinema compared to this.
Yeah,
you know,
earlier this year,
would.
Quantumania, The Flash, easy watching those before this. There's no fucking doubt about it. You know, like,
I think we do go with the 0.25 then, because I really don't think it can get worse. And if something is just this bad, it might be the 0 we're looking for. You know, like it either has to be this bad or it's a 0, which a 0, that's incredible. You know, like if that movie exists, I mean, it would have to get you to like, if a movie ever gets you so pissed off that you commit a crime, or I don't know, like what does it take? Like you murder someone because of a movie, you know, it was so bad. Like I don't know what a 0 takes, but
you drive to the director's house and
you make threats. Things. You actually make a threat towards the people who made the movie.
I suppose this movie doesn't have me quite there.
Yeah. Who actually? Wait a minute. Who are these people?
Neville Dean and Taylor.
Let's see.
They did make Jonah Hex, so they're good by me. This is a miss.
And that's a movie that they knew what they were doing there. They were having a good time, and it sort of worked. You know, it was bad, but it sort of worked. This just did
It had
not.
an identity. It had a vibe. It went for something. This is nothing. There's nothing here. It just, it disgusts me.
Yeah. Spirit of it. Yeah, it's a 0.25. I think so. I think we're there. Wow. And critically, I mean, Catwoman's a 2. This is I think a ceiling 1.
I say this one we give it the 1. I say we give it the 1 here.
Okay.
Because it did at least have one cool moment. It had one moment where I was like, this is cool.
That's, oh my God. Wow. I mean, that's just incredible.
This is a below 10% movie.
This is a 0.75. A 0.75. I mean, by our percent scale that you normally do, an 8%. This is an 8%. That's just incredible. That's incredible. I mean, I didn't think when I watched Catwoman, I really didn't think we could get there. I didn't think it would happen again, but
we got there by a wide margin. Like, we're talking a difference of nearly 15%.
It's not, yeah, I mean, there's just not much good that you can say about this movie at all, other than good on the people that cashed the check here, you know? I mean, good on you for getting in.
Got paid.
Maybe this was worse for your career, though. You know, I don't know. I mean, this could have, maybe, you know, Nick Cage is doing fine. I don't know how
Idris Elba.
Yeah, that's true.
But Ciarán Hinds
great.
Went on to book Game of Thrones after this. He's also he's funny enough, he's also in Justice League. He's Steppenwolf. So,
God damn it.
A couple of the worst comic book movies of all time, but he's Mance Rayder, so he's good by me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, for the likes of Violante Placido, who didn't do bad in this movie, by the way. I don't think she was bad. Nadia did fine. You know, not she played exactly the role you would expect this character to be in this movie. She, I'd imagine her career hasn't reaped a lot of reward. Post this.
Wow. Yeah, very easy. No need to move any of these boxes around on the Excel sheet. Just right at the bottom. There they are. 45th movie. Yeah, I the letterbox list, it was very easy. You know, when you add a movie,
the list and that was it.
Add it. There it is. No need to move it anywhere. It is right where it deserves to be. Yeah, I mean, just wow. I thought Green Lantern was going to be a low. I was pleasantly surprised by that. This is whatever the opposite of pleasantly surprised is. I was
disgusted.
Yeah. I was actually unexpectedly angered by this movie. So
the first Ghost Rider, this falls at 45 out of 45 on the comic book movie journey. The first one's at 20 for me. Like, it's not this franchise. It's not this character. It's not this actor.
I mean, we got whatever his name. What was he? What did he go by in the movie though? The caretaker.
Like fucking
the care
Carter Slade.
Oh, that's right. He was actually one of the riders. Yeah, one last ride. That made no sense at all. By the way, I think but that's the thing that didn't make sense. Those were the things that didn't make sense. But it was cool though. You know, it was like, oh, at least it was somewhat of a cool, goodbye. It didn't make sense, but it was cool.
I will never watch this movie again, and I'm happy with that. I'm actively joyful that now that I'm past this, I might have seen the bottom of the ocean. It can only go
Mariana Trench. This is the absolute worst that a movie could get. Maybe. Yeah,
I'm only going up from here, man.
And
I've
if not
the bottom.
I mean, goddamn. If not, we are breaking barriers. There are worse movies out there. I guarantee it. Like ones that have never made it to like a theater, or whatever. But
I'm sure there are worse movies, but let's see. What have I?
I'm trying to just look up the worst movies
According
of
to
all time.
Letterboxd, I have not marked every single movie I've seen as watched. I've watched 1,132 movies, according to Letterboxd, what I've marked watched. I am comfortable in proclaiming this is the worst one.
Oh my god. I didn't think the day would come. I do think there is a comic book movie that is worse than Morbius. Yeah, like Morbius is actually somewhat. I'd watch Morbius. Wow. I didn't think I'd ever say that sentence.
I've never watched Morbius, and I guarantee you I would watch that for the first time sooner than I would rewatch this.
Be careful what you wish for. It will be the closest one to it, I think. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. I'm interested to see how it is years removed. And with a lot of time in between. But yeah, no, this is the level of it. We are in the Catwoman or Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance level with Morbius. So, but yeah, that's
what a fucking disaster of a movie. Just terrible.
Like even Spaceballs was pretty bad, I'm thinking with the most
trying to be bad.
Yeah, it's trying to be a spoon. It's very good compared to this. I don't think there's any movie that I could put on the level of this that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, every movie we've ever covered. I've got a Letterboxd list of every movie we've ever covered. And I think it's at something like, this is 164, I think. Confident 164th. It is the worst
single
movie.
Bad Batch episode can do more for me than this entire movie.
1,000%.
A single scene of the Bad Batch can really do it more. Yeah, wow. Wow. Yeah, I say goodbye to Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance forever, because I will never watch it again in my life. The favorites will be the only memory I have of this movie, so I'll keep the crazy...
And even those, doubt I remember what they are.
Scraping at the door! Yeah, and weird Nick Cage. I got Idris Elba. I got in the double performance in character as a complete side character in this movie, which is...
what an experience this was. Actually, a good portion of this episode was spent deliberating on what it means for a movie to be as bad as this one is.
Yeah, that's what took the most time. Was is it less than 1? Well, yes, it definitely is. How close to 0 can we get? Was basically the conversation.
And we chose as close as possible.
Yeah, this is right. On our scales, this is as close as you can get to 0. And that's exactly where it belongs.
That's that. We'll be back next week for, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking, we're coming back for the Avengers, which I don't think is an incredible movie, but my God, can I not wait for that next week?
This is going to seem like Endgame. I mean, this is going to be an experience to watch. This is my next, everything is going to be better. After,
it's like Tyler Durden has just held a gun to my head.
Yes.
I've seen the lowest low. Tomorrow morning, my breakfast is going to taste better than anything I've ever tasted in my life.
The whole Tyler Durden experience, that only takes a couple minutes. This Ghost Rider,
an hour and a half.
It's prolonged.
I almost died.
Yeah, I mean, it's dangerous to watch this movie, actually. Be careful. Don't recommend this to anybody. I mean, it might be dangerous to anyone's mental health.
Do not do not show this to the elderly. Don't do it. Don't do it.
There's a good chance that this will be their last memory, and that is not how you want them to go.
This is not.
I need a cleanse. Yeah, I need to watch Scooby-Doo at least like 5 times tonight. I think
go ahead and it's a full body scrub.
Yeah, I need them.
I
need to see Scrappy Doo just be taken down over and
get his
over.
ass. Get his ass. But yeah, with that, we will conclude this episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. If you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and the like. For $3 a month, you can support this podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Letterboxd at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening. We promise to never cover a movie this bad again intentionally. Normally, I would recommend that you watch the movies we're covering, and this one, that would not be the case. But next week, we'll be back. We'll be back with a couple comic book movies. We'll be back with The Avengers next Wednesday, and then next Friday, we'll be joined once again by Blaine Rezach for the first time in about a year for The Amazing Spider-Man. So, both of those, many might consider not great movies, but my God, are they going to be fantastic coming off of Ghost Rider 2.
That's for sure. Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait, though. We get a little bit of Andrew Garfield next week. Boy, it's been a while since we've covered an Andrew Garfield movie. I think since Tick, Tick, Boom. So that'll be nice. Excited to have him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Thank you for having me. It's only a pleasure that it is now over with this movie now.
Oh man,
but the talk wasn't bad. The talk
was good. The talk was the best part of watching this movie.
Yeah.
Being able, I'm so glad that the reason I watched this movie was so I could trash it with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
If I had no outlet, if I was just screaming into the void about how much I didn't like Ghost Rider 2, I'd feel unfulfilled. That would be a true waste of time.
He turned into how he turned in. His crazy fucking manic, whatever. That's how you'd be. But we got it out, and we don't need it any longer. But yes, what a talk that we've had. The most negative I think I've ever been.
For sure. We'll be much more positive on Monday, where we continue our Game of Thrones rewatch for Winter is Blooming with the season 6 finale of Game of Thrones, and I'm so very excited for that. That's a great conversation about something we both fucking love, and that is something we try to do a lot more than this. So go ahead, check that out for us, especially only if you've watched Game of Thrones. If you have not, steer clear. We spoil the shit out of stuff. But yeah, remember, peace, love, and bloom. I'm going to say this because I'm so glad it's over. Hell yes.